Our region's influenced the making of America in many ways, but over the years, as major television networks became more concentrated in New York, Washington, and more recently Atlanta, it got more challenging to participate in the national conversation about big issues. Well, satellite technology has helped to change all of that, and today, with an uplink and a downlink, thought leaders from our region are as accessible as any in the Northeast Corridor. And now Carnegie Mellon and the Pittsburgh International Telecommunications are teaming up to make it even easier. Marc Burd is Director of Public Relations at CMU's Tepper School, and Missy Gralish is Director of Business Development at the Teleport. Welcome. Good to see both of you.
Phil, it's great to be here.
Great to be here.
Yeah, this whole idea of putting people on the satellite, well, Cyril Weck has done it for decades,
Cyril.
I think.
He's wonderful.
He's like the Pittsburgh star in terms of showing up on all these national network shows.
He's wonderful. He does a great job. The networks love him.
And he's not the only one, though. I think a lot of folks who live in our region would be surprised at how often people from Pittsburgh and this area are being interviewed by these national networks.
Absolutely. We have Bino Cook on every Thursday from 1 to 2 o'clock for ESPN, and he's an icon. And he's there, and he does a fantastic job, and they love him. They absolutely love him. You know, we had Tony Kornheiser came in and visited, and the first thing he did was went to go see Bino Cook.
Okay,
so
all right.
Quite exciting.
So that, yeah, that's on the sports side. I know over at PNC, Stu Hoffman's been doing this kind of thing for years. They have their own studio setup, right?
They do, absolutely. We provide the camera and the crew right on their trading floor.
Huh.
You know, what could be better? I mean, imagine all the eyeballs that they're getting by having a studio right there, right on their trading floor.
And your studio is in downtown Pittsburgh, which I guess means, though, the experts then have to come to downtown Pittsburgh
Typically,
to do this.
Absolutely. We man a studio 24/7, so if a network calls and they need a live shot or, you know, live taping, whatever it is that they require, we can do it immediately. Okay. We have crew there all the time, and I'm actually on call 24 hours a day myself. So when the plane crashed, my phone starts ringing at 4 o'clock in the morning, networks all over the world calling to use our services, whether it's remote or in our studio.
Okay, so Missy's 24/7, but often I would think a lot of the experts out there at the Tepper School and at CMU aren't quite available.
We would try to claim that we're 24/7, but
the university
we would prefer not to be.
Yeah. So so you're out now contemplating installing your own facility out at the Tepper School?
Well, you know what we've been blessed with at the Tepper School and at Carnegie Mellon University is a wealth of intellectual capital, a lot of people that can really speak to a variety of issues at a very high level. Folks like Marvin Goodfriend that was just that's on your program today, in fact, is one of our professors that's in very, very high demand by national media. So currently, to facilitate that process, we have to take the experts from the university campus in Oakland and bring them downtown. And you know, folks at home are probably familiar with the little box that comes up in the corner of your screen whenever you're doing one of these interviews on national news. Well, you know, that whole process may take 5 minutes on TV, but in the studio you may be looking at more like a half hour or 45 minutes. And when you add on the travel time from Oakland and the parking and everything like that, you're asking these professors for a minimum of 2 hours of their time. What happens is they're teaching classes, they're conducting research, they're mentoring students, they're doing a lot of other things that are the core essential functions of their job. So asking them for 2 hours of their time to go do an interview with a particular network sometimes becomes a bit daunting. So what we were looking at is saying, how can we cut that time down? And we were very pleased to work with Pittsburgh Telecommunications to try to come up with a solution for that.
Okay, and so now it'll be a lot more convenient, and you're working on this together, so you would operate this then.
It'll be the Pittsburgh Videotech Center, which is part of Pittsburgh Telecommunications. We will man it. It will be our cameras and our crew. So the same services they were receiving at our studio, they'll receive right on site on their campus. And it works out really well for them because they can reach out to the 7 schools at CMU and use it for many experts from this region they can pull from.
You think about it now, you got this fiscal crisis, you know, the recession, so I imagine the business school profs are really in demand, but you've got robotics out there, engineering, the arts, there probably are a lot of opportunities.
Oh, there really are. You know what, we actually started working on this project before the financial crisis. When the financial crisis hit, it really exaggerated why we need to do this. And the reason is we've had to turn down quite a few requests from major networks, both nationally and internationally, to do interviews simply because we can't find that window of time from our professors.
Yeah, I see your people quoted all the time in the national publications, whether it's USA Today or the Journal or the New York Times. But it's true, television doesn't work. It's not a phone call.
It's not a simple phone call. That's right.
That's right.
Now, are you seeing the same uptick in demand for interviews of people from Pittsburgh?
We are, and what's really unique is the networks truly love Pittsburgh. They love the experts that come from Pittsburgh. And, you know, based upon meetings I've had with networks, you know, they have said to me, gosh, you know, you have a great draw. And I would say, well, why is that? And the response is basically, it's very middle market, if you will. It's not West Coast glitz and glam. You know, it's not East Coast, maybe New York arrogance. People in the rest of the United States can relate to the talent or the experts that come from Pittsburgh. It's real. They're trustworthy, they're credible, and they portray that way over television.
The real truth from our region. I love it. Well,
great.
Congratulations. I mean, it's a great thing, obviously, potentially for CMU, but the more we can get our experts out there in the national dialogue, the better it's going to be for all of us.
Absolutely. It's great.
Well,
thank you so much.
congratulations.
Thank you.
So much.
Thanks. We're very excited about it.
Great to be here.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Well, you heard of a cyber cafe. Now our region has one for cyclists, too. Stay with us.